Hi folks, one of the stranger things I have a weird amount of experience in is higher education, specifically in student recruitment. I have had a lot of roles in the prospective student space, and because of that, I understand what prospective students and the Gen Z demographic in general want. Hi folks, my name is Claire Cunningham. I am a customer service expert, founder of The Customer Connection, and I am here to help you improve your bottom line by putting the focus on the customer. I currently work for a very large university. However, I've worked for a smaller private college too, and I've had a lot of experience on the front line listening to student frustrations firsthand. Now, I recently did a presentation at work talking about the trends in the market, and it was pretty good, so I'm turning it into YouTube content. Now, the trends I'm going to talk you through are very specific to Gen Z and school leavers in particular. So if you work in higher education, this video is going to be right up your alley. However, if you don't work in higher education, but your market is younger audiences, Gen Z, that demographic, these trends will hold true across the board. Let's start by first acknowledging the stark generational differences in customer experience preferences. Each generation has changed what it wants and how it prefers to be sold to, and because of that, there are definitely similarities in between generations, but there's also a lot of differences because it can be a very gradual change. So if you're a millennial like me and you hear me say a trend about Gen Z and you go, I feel like that too, well, it's because we're right next to each other on the generational ladder and we have a lot of similarities, but also there's a lot of differences. The first trend that we need to be aware of, and it might be the most important trend that we talk about today, they have a very low tolerance for barriers, especially on your website. If they cannot immediately find the answer they're looking for, they are not wasting any more time on your website or your institution. If they have to jump around from page to page to try to find what they're looking for and they can't find it, they are jumping off of your website and onto your competitor's website where it's easier to find in a better format. Your website and your course guides need to be as navigable as possible. It needs to be clear, the wording cannot be misinterpreted, and most importantly of all, the info is easy to find. The point is, they have a low tolerance for barriers, and not being able to find the information that they want is a huge barrier. So put it right out there for them to find. Now, you may have noticed this next trend already, but there is actually a secondary market you need to be focusing on, and that is their parents. There is an increase in parent inquiries on behalf of their student. Mom and dad are more involved now than they ever have been before. I am sure that you have heard the phrase helicopter parenting, but let me tell you something. That is old news. The new term that you are looking for is called concierge parenting. This means mom and dad do everything for them. It is a completely different world now where you need to still serve your customer, but cater to the decision maker as well, which might not always be your customer. That increase in parents inquiring naturally leads to the next trend, which is a decrease in students inquiring on their own behalf. It's highly likely that they'll either get mom and dad to inquire for them, or they just won't do it at all. And that fits real nicely with that low tolerance for barriers. They don't want to have to ask anyone a question. They prefer that self-sell, self-service model. They simply don't want to contact someone to find the answer that should be readily available for them to find. Now, if you weren't surprised by that trend, you will not be surprised by the next trend either, and that is that they do not pick up their phones. They don't want to talk on the phone. They won't return a voicemail. And I get it. I also hate wasting time calling if it's going to be a painful experience. So many reasons they don't want to talk on the phone, and they are all very valid because honestly, phone experience is not so great lately. Different video, different day. And this is a huge preference difference in between our parents' generation and Gen Z. Our parents love chatting on the phone. Give them a call, just find out. Gen Z does not want to do that. And that leads us into the next trend, which is that texting options are preferred. They not only don't mind texting with the business, they don't see it as unprofessional. They have that as their preferred method of contact. That or web chat. Both of those are very acceptable methods of contact for them. It's on demand, it's easy, they can do it while they're doing something else. And that's what they want. Low barriers, something that fits with their lifestyle. Texting in real time is much more convenient for them, and you will get a much higher response rate. Another trend that you're probably seeing is an increased desire and expectation of personalization. Gen Z wants an experience that is customized to their needs. This generation does not accept a one-size-fits-all, and so they shouldn't. Highly personalized options is what this generation is looking for, so get out of that cookie-cutter mindset and start figuring out how you can meet that need. And the final trend that you need to know about: flexible study options. We are on the other side of the pandemic now, and the world looks different than it did a few years ago. As workers, we want flexible work options. Newsflash, so do students. They want to be able to do some classes on campus. They want to be able to do some classes online, and some classes they want as a hybrid option. Yes, I know how hard that is to plan for. I know it is so hard. But do you want students? Then you gotta work it out. They want what's going to suit them, not what suits someone else. If your enrollment numbers are starting to tank, then take a step back and evaluate these trends and how you're meeting the needs of students these days. This generation is not a bunch of dum-dums. They are some smart cookies, and they do not get fooled by traditional marketing tactics. So get ready to evolve. If you have got any questions about the general trends in the Gen Z market or in student recruitment in particular, feel free to get in touch with me at contact@thecustomerconnection.com. And be sure to like and subscribe for more fun and practical content.